Hi, so it is a very special day at the practice today because it happens to be the birthday for Gabe the magical dog, which is so exciting. So, the there's just so much I could say about Gabe. I mean, he was I got him in 2012, and it was the day that I had surgery. So my sister Candace took me to hospital in the morning, and I'd said to her sort of all day the day before, I really want to go and get a dog. I really want to go and get a dog. And I was living in a little unit, and I just really wanted a dog. And so anyway, after my surgery, she came and collected me from hospital, and I had stitches and all that sort of stuff, but she still agreed to drive me around. And I really wanted to get a rescue. So we went around to lots of different animal shelters throughout the Wellington Peninsula and right up through to the city. And it was almost closing time when I first met Gabe. And Gabe was the last dog at the end of the concrete corridor. And the girls there said to me, "Oh, why do you want this dog?" And I said, "Oh, I just like this dog. I'd really like to see if he connects with me." And they said, "Well, this dog has been here for a long time and he hasn't been connecting with anybody. He doesn't even like to be touched. He's not affectionate. He's not engaging. You can give it a go, but we think that this dog's going to move on, so to speak." So I put the dog on the lead and I took him out, and we walked down through the corridor, and all these other dogs were barking at him, and he was just stoic. He didn't even buy into it. He didn't bark back. He just kept his eyes on getting out. And we went out into the great big garden there that they had at this dog's place. It's called the Lost Dogs Home, actually, Lord Smith. So we're in the garden, and he was on a really long lead, and I was trying to get him to come to me, and he wasn't interested. And I was trying everything I could, and I was trying and trying and trying and trying. Hi, Mum. I'm just talking about Gabe and the day that I met him because it's his birthday today. And so I was trying everything I could do, but Gabe didn't want to. Oh, thanks for the heart. Good job. Mum just learned how to do that. So Gabe didn't want to have anything to do with me, and I kept calling him over. He wasn't interested. And then the lady was telling me, "Come on, we're going to have to pack up and go." And as she was saying that, there were two gardeners, and they were wheeling wheelbarrows and bins, and they started approaching the dog and I. And the dog started really barking a lot. And then after the gardeners had gone past us, the dog came and sat almost on my lap. He was in a protective position, and that was when I knew 100% that this was my dog. And yeah, the people there, they were lovely, but they were like, "Are you sure you really want this dog? As I said, he's not connecting." I said, "Yeah, I want this dog." So I got him home, and for the first week, it was really a big adjustment. And I didn't realize what his backstory was at the time, but it was that he'd escaped when he was just a puppy, and he was living in the city, and he was staying a lot of time in the hey Bridget, hey Tails. He was living in the streets, and people at the restaurants in Brunswick Street had been feeding him. And so he hadn't been clipped or anything like that. And when he went to the Lost Dogs Home, when they caught him, he had to be clipped, and he didn't like it very much because he was in a lot of pain. And then he had to be sedated. And then they found that, he'd been harmed when he was on the street. So it looked to them like maybe he'd been on the street for a few months. I'd spoken to people at the restaurants. They said about 6 months. They knew him. And so when he came to my place, he was incredibly independent, and he didn't understand about routine, and he didn't understand about lots of different things. And I was trying. And yeah, it was frustrating for a little while, but we got there in the end. And I guess I learned a lot of things. And one of the things that I learned was you don't have to try so hard, and I think that's probably a lesson for life as well. I think when we take the pressure off ourselves and we lighten up a little bit, we loosen up a little bit, good things happen. And in this case, Gabe and I did form a bond, and now we're best mates, and I love him to bits. He's been in my life now for 6 years today, which is really exciting. And so one of the other really cool things about animals is that they lower your stress. And the statistics in Australia too show that people who have an animal, like a dog or a cat, for example, tend to have a longer life expectancy than people who are married. So that was pretty interesting. Also, animals are good for you because they get you moving, they get you up and out, up and off the couch. You have to take them for walks. They get you thinking beyond yourself. So if you have an animal, you know, you can't just not feed it. You've got to actually get up out of bed, and you've got to go and make it breakfast, and you've got to check that it's got fresh water. You have to care for it. You have to brush it, comb it, make sure it's got friends to play with, all of those sorts of things. So if you're somebody who has anxiety or depression, an animal can really be very, very helpful in the right circumstances. You know, the other beautiful thing about dogs and cats, I don't know about cats actually, having grown up with them, but dogs don't really judge you. They love you regardless of how you look, regardless of how much money you make, regardless of how much you weigh or don't weigh. The dog's always going to love you, and it's always going to be there for you when you need a hug or when you need companionship and things like that. They're always loyal. So anyway, it's his birthday, so I've just come from the school. I'm here at the practice. I did a quick stop off on the way to get him a few bits and pieces. So I've got him a cooling collar so that he can keep nice and cool in the summer because he was panting a little bit recently. I also got him the matching cooling mat, so I don't have to put it in the fridge or anything like that. The last one I got from a market, and it smells a bit stinky, but hopefully this one's going to do the trick and keep him nice and cool in summer. And I got him this, which has all these nobbles on it that he can chew, which would be good for his teeth. Plus, it's kind of cute, so it's nice for me to look at as well, and it's really durable, so he shouldn't be able to chew through that. And then I got him some sticks. I don't know what they are, but apparently I can cut them in half and I can freeze them, which would be really nice for him as well, given that we've had a few hot days recently. So yes, it's his birthday. Yes, I'm going to wrap everything up. Yes, he's going to have an ice cream tonight to celebrate. I love him to bits. If you have an animal, I would love to know how having an animal has helped you cope with symptoms of anxiety or depression or stress or something like that too. Thanks so much for joining me today. My name's Brooklyn. I'm the director and the principal psychologist here at All Swacked Up in Frankston, Melbourne, Australia. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.